You gotta have.
Nobody gave me a paper to amend the agenda.
She's making the motion for you to agree.
Amend the agenda.
Yeah, you gotta come to
Okay.
the motion to
Just want to make sure I stay on task,
Thank you.
on script. To amend.
Come on, clock, say 6. It's okay. That's what everybody. Good evening and welcome to the Spalding County Board of Commissioners, November 3rd, regular Board of Commissioners meeting. I would ask that you please silence cell phones and all other electronic devices. At this time, I would ask Commissioner James Dutton to lead us in the invocation and Commissioner Ryan Bolden to lead us in the pledge to the flag.
Please join me in prayer tonight. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with thankful hearts, thankful for our blessings here in this wonderful world that you've created for us, thankful for the leadership that you have blessed and helped guide. We're thankful for the mass breakout of peace that is happening all around the world. Father, from Central Asia to Southeast Asia to the Middle East, Father, we're just so grateful that thy hand is being shown throughout the world, that through those that follow thee, we can be that example throughout the world, that we can help broker that peace that has ended wars that are decades old. Father, we ask those blessings here in our community, that we can seek first to understand and then to be understood, that we can take into account the entirety of the county and all the citizens, and not just see what is best for us, but what is best for our entire community, what is best for our entire state, and what we can do to help glorify thee in thy name. Father, we ask a blessing on our first responders, emergency personnel, law enforcement, military personnel, medical personnel, wherever they may be, that they can stay safe and protected tonight, that they can return home to their families. Father, we ask a blessing on our families while we're away, that they also can be protected, guided, and comforted by thee. Father, we ask these blessings humbly in the name of our Lord and Savior, the Redeeming One of Israel, even Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 If you would, please join me in the pledge of allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 4, presentation proclamation, recognition of the 2025 8th Annual Sheriff's Citizen Academy. Sheriff Dix.
Good evening. How are
Good
you?
Evening.
Good. Like you said, this was our 8th Sheriff Citizens Academy class. Over the past 8 years, we have put, I'm guessing, somewhere between 150 and 175 students through this course. It's 10
Good
weeks
job.
long.
Thank you.
It's 10 weeks long, meets once a week, from 6 o'clock until about 9 p.m., give or take a little bit. They had the opportunity to learn all about the sheriff's office in an unencumbered look at everything, from uniform patrol, the history of the office of the sheriff, all the way through to a walkthrough of the jail. And we don't pull any punches. We don't hold anything back. We let them see exactly how things are, why we do what we do. And I think the myth busters thing is what we tell folks. And we also really stress to them, especially me, don't sit in the class and believe anything I tell you. Also, don't believe everything you hear on TV. Sometimes the best thing to do is do your own research, look into things for yourself, and find out facts. And that's what we strive to do when we do this class. This was a great class. They participated a lot of questions, and I gave them a break. There was no homework this time. But we're very proud of them. And out of this group, we have volunteers that will show up at a lot of our events that we do and help us out. Like at the Halloween event the other night, we gave out 3,500 of the little plastic sheriff's hats and cooler after cooler full of candy. Some of the classmates were out there. And one of the things we also do is we use some of our local vendors. Every night we provide them with a meal. And it's always a small business, small locally owned restaurant that we get the food from. And I think that y'all enjoyed it, had a good time. I know we had a good time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to y'all our 8th annual Sheriff's Academy class.
Come on, John, come on up. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, on behalf of the 2025 Citizen Sheriff's Academy students, we took up a collection, because the sheriff has a lot of youth programs going on, and the junior deputy program, of course, is really important. Shopping with the sheriff at Christmas time, I would urge each one of y'all to come out at 7 o'clock at Walmart, whatever morning it is. It's worth getting up early. It's worth trying to route the skateboard. But on behalf of the Citizen Sheriff's Academy, we present this check to Sheriff Dix.
Y'all got jagged heads. Y'all got jagged heads.
Gwen, why would you know that?
I've been knowing her a long time.
That's you.
Thank y'all very much.
They gave us vocal day in school. Because I had to pay them in school.
Maybe I can get my husband in.
From behind, knock me down, got me the desk, just beat me, tried to kick me. And I still got a day.
Just love how they have the same box.
If I could ask you all that are leaving to move on out and talk in the hallway instead of in this room, please.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
And my classmate out there,
Yeah.
Jackie. We was in the same homeroom from middle school to high school.
Do private school kids get to go on that junior deputy trip when they're in 6th grade?
Item number 5, citizen comments. Speakers must sign up prior to the meeting and provide their names, addresses, and topics they wish to discuss. Speakers must direct your comments to the board and not to individual members of the audience. Personal disagreements with individual members or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. The chairman has the right to limit your comments in the interest of disposing of the county's business in an efficient and respectful manner. Speakers will be allocated 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topics as they relate to matters pertaining to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No questions will be asked by any of the members during citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speakers will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. Dr. Ledbetter, do we have anybody who has signed up tonight?
Yes, sir, we do. We have seven of our neighbors who have signed up. First up, Ms. Patricia Barlow. If you would, please step forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Patricia Barlow, address 2000 South 6th Street, extension Griffin, Georgia. I'm here to talk about our no-kill animal shelter. According to Tammy Hammond, the National Advisor for No-Kill Advancement at Best Friends Animal Society, which is published in this journal that they put out every few months, the no-kill goals are: 1, keeping pets in homes throughout support programs, temporary foster housing, food pantries, low-cost spay-neuter, behavioral health. These are all far less costly than housing in a shelter and or killing when resources run out. I would like to know how our shelter is doing with these metrics. We know the numbers for animals adopted. I would like to know animals placed in foster care. Is this a metric that we follow? Animals transferred to rescue partners. Healthy pets should not have to go to shelters if other options exist. Even with best veterinary care and cleaning protocols, shelters can expose animals to infectious diseases. The shelter environment, full of strange sights, sounds, and smells, is often frightening and stressful to pets, causing them to act differently than they would in a home, making them less likely to be adopted. No-kill animal services are not about hoarding animals in the shelter, turning people with animals away, or leaving pets in harm's way in our community. It is obvious that our community and elected officials, along with the shelter, need to work with our shelter to achieve these goals.
Thank you, Patricia.
Heather Goforth.
Oh, I'm sorry. Heather Goforth, 122 Woodlands Drive, Jackson. Tonight we are going to talk about a few things that have happened with animal control since the last meeting 2 weeks ago. 1, the vet clinic My Rescue uses reached out to us for assistance with a critically injured dog. This dog, Sam, had been brought into the vet by animal control after being hit by a car. X-rays showed he had also been shot. He also had parasites and a tick-borne disease. Given animal control's ongoing capacity constraints and limited resources, our vet proactively reached out to us for help. I went down to the clinic and told the vet before leaving that we would commit to and take Sam pending animal control's approval. The vet communicated this to the director to follow. I also sent an email to the director with the vet and county manager copied explaining the same, that My Rescue would take over financial responsibility and custody both during the stray hold and after, pending no owner came forward, if animal control provided something in writing allowing such as had been done prior. The vet then spent 2 days trying to get the director to allow My Rescue to take this dog. The doctor repeatedly explained to the director how this is what was best for the dog, most importantly, but also the county. They explained how critical it would be for him to be in a foster home and rescue under close watch, care, and proper sanitation versus being in a small kennel in a crowded shelter. His medical care would also not be as strict if the animal control's limited resources, and it would take the financial burden off the county. Despite not having a singular other option available to this dog, and this rescue option being the one the vet secured and recommended, the director told the vet on Monday that Spalding would not sign this dog over to my rescue. Let me repeat. Against vet advice and what was best for the animal care and control director refused to sign over this dog to my rescue because of a personal dislike for me. My rescue is licensed with the Department of Agriculture, registered 501c3, registered nonprofit corporation, reputable, vet recommended, proven history and care of our animals. Spalding also signed over a dog to us as recently as August, which we have spent nearly $5,000 on and is happily in foster care. It took me contacting another rescue, asking the vet to present that rescue option next to the director, that rescue pulling the dog from Spalding, and then that rescue transferring ownership back to us, just for my rescue to be able to help this dog. Once this other rescue was lined up, the director also only then responded to my Saturday email and had the audacity to say that they had others needs of placement if I was interested. So I can help another dog in Spalding, of the director's choosing, but I cannot help this injured dog in dire need that the vet has been trying to get her to sign over to me for 2 days now. This is a prime example of why local rescues have backed off from helping Spalding. This is also a prime example of why you've had local vets come speak at meetings, voicing concerns and troubling experiences with animal control. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Grant Goforth.
Grant Goforth, 122 Woodlands Drive. That was number one. I'll do 2 and 3. Does anyone remember Samson? Samson came into the shelter July of 2023. He was a part of a criminal case. He was not held up as evidence, and he was quickly released and made available for adoption that same week in July of 2023. He sat miserable in a kennel for over 2 years before being adopted in September of 2025. Last week, citizens called animal control for a dog starving to death on the side of someone's house. That dog was later recognized as Samson in skeletal form, who is now back at the shelter to sit for who knows how many more years. Oh, and Samson has never been tested for heartworms either, so likely sitting in the shelter with a festering infestation of heartworms. Number 3, a different rescue that had never worked in Spalding before came by the shelter while in the area. Upon walking the kennels, they quickly noticed a deathly ill puppy later named Bones. Bones had been in the shelter since September. The rescue could not stand the thought of leaving him behind once they saw him. The puppy was emancipated, lethargic, dehydrated, and had white gums. He was so critical that the rescue actually gave him fluids at the shelter in the lobby before even leaving with it. Okay, the puppy was then taken to a vet with the rescue where diagnostics showed he was loaded with giardia and coccidia, anemic, and blood work results were all over the place. Bones never once had the energy or desire to even eat on his own while with the rescue. Bones died 3 days after being removed from Spalding County Animal Control Shelter. Bones received 1 singular round of basic dewormer while at the shelter in a time period where he should have at least had 3 rounds. He also never received the different medications needed to treat giardia and coccidia specifically. He also only received 1 Dempster parvo vaccine in a time period where he should have had 2 or 3. Prior to Bones being rescued, one of his siblings died while in foster care through the shelter. After Bones was rescued, his remaining 2 siblings at the shelter were reported to have positive parvo test. The incubation period for parvo tops out at 14 days. Considering these puppies had been at the shelter for over a month, this means that they would have contracted parvo from the shelter. This in turn means 2 things. The puppies were not properly vaccinated, as stated before, and the shelter's sanitation/quarantine protocols are inadequate. Here are just 3 things from the last 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Grant.
Michelle Drugaz.
Michelle Drugaz, 312 Whispering Pines Way, Griffin, Georgia. Good evening, Commissioners. How many times have I come before this board over the past 3 years and asked for a roundabout for the Teeman Road and Jordan Hill Road 4-way stop intersection? How many times have I expressed the safety issues of this intersection? How many lives have to be put in danger before the lack of safety at this intersection is addressed? Vehicles are traveling at speeds above 50 miles per hour approaching the 4-way stop.
Too many vehicles do not see or just ignore the stop signs. One of the accidents which occurred at this intersection, the victims had to be life flighted out. Another accident which I saw, the SUV ended up turned over onto its side and the victims were being attended to in the road. 2 years ago, I presented the accident reports from the Sheriff's Office and the Office of the Georgia State Patrol, and nothing has been done or planned to mitigate this dangerous intersection. In fact, when I spoke to TJ Imberger about the dangers of this intersection and the traffic which will be increased by the completion of the Board of Commissioners approved development of Tiemann Point of 293 high-density cluster homes, these will generate more than 1,100 additional vehicles traveling Tiemann Road utilizing that four-way stop. And TJ's response to me was a roundabout was not needed for that intersection. Recently, I was told that a neighbor was driving northbound on Tiemann Road, stopped at the four-way stop, and took a longer pause before starting to proceed through the intersection. During the pause, a vehicle traveling westbound drove through and did not stop for the stop sign, driving at least 50 miles per hour. My neighbor was very shaken up by the accident they barely avoided. Now it has happened to me. On Saturday, I was facing northbound and turning west onto Tiemann Road when the vehicle driving southbound proceeded straight through the intersection without stopping, causing me to speed up my turn to prevent an accident, and only to hit the curb and blow out 2 of my tires. The car that ran the stop sign never stopped. This board has addressed several other dangerous intersections, but Tiemann Road and Jordan Hill Road four-way stop needs to become a roundabout to create safe travel for the vehicles traveling through the intersection. How many more people will be put in danger at this intersection? How many more people and vehicles will be in accidents because of the poor visibility of this four-way stop? Will you wait until someone potentially dies before addressing the danger of this intersection? You can start by putting blinking lights on the stop signs, as you have done at several other intersections in the county, while you plan for that roundabout. You have to consider the aging population in Sun City Peachtree, which will have over 4,200 homes when built out, as well as taking into consideration the 1,500 55-plus senior community North Towaliga Village, which you just approved to be built on Highway 155. When you add Sun City Peachtree, Tiemann Point, and North Towaliga Village, that's almost 13,000 additional vehicles which will be traveling Tiemann Road. I ask you to make safety of your citizens a higher priority. Thank you. Oh, and I also want to thank Officer Carr, who came for the reported incident and really did a great job with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Carrie Gebler.
Hi, Carrie Gebler, 646 MacArthur Drive, Griffin, Georgia. In the last 10 days, I pulled 5 dogs off the street, found homes for a couple of them, placed a couple with foster, and found an owner that that the dog belonged to. That's 4 less than animal control took off the street in the whole month of September. I'm a private citizen. People are calling me left and right. I had 2 calls right before I came here today. There's another loose dog at the airport that I've been called about a couple times. There's one at the senior center. There's another one on 16. This is just today, guys. We had no kill under Brent in the old shelter. Less than 10% of adoptable dogs were euthanized. Brent had great relationships with Nationwide Rescues, and dogs were moved out. We didn't leave them on the street to get hit by cars. They got adopted, or they got moved out, or the ones that were unadoptable were euthanized. We have a couple dogs at the shelter in the last couple of years that have bitten people and were still put up for adoption. That is completely insane and dangerous and irresponsible and should never happen again. The dogs biting people should not be up for adoption. Somebody posted today, he's in the Humane Society, was a manager, director of the shelter for a while, and yes, I have an email from him with that title designation, so I don't want to hear that that's not what he was. He said that this little puppy they were talking about, Bones, did not suffer. The dog was vomiting, had diarrhea, had anemia, and wouldn't eat. I don't know about the rest of you, but that doesn't sound really comfortable to me. The paranoia that's been described, I unfortunately had to work with the director for about 4 years for another reason, and I did witness some things that were, in my opinion, pretty paranoid. And now I'm hearing that from all kinds of other people. There's an old saying, it's an old Greek saying, and I don't speak Greek, so I can't say it in Greek, but you'll get the meaning. The fish stinks from the head. We have a serious problem with leadership in this county. Got 3 people up there more interested in their phones than listening to the citizens. Okay. Nobody responds to emails. For what you guys are getting paid and you just got a raise, why aren't you responding to emails? The ones that are licensed attorneys can be reported to the bar for that because it's a violation of ethics. You're supposed to respond, but that's a whole nother thing. I don't know what it's going to take for things to change at that shelter, but something needs to happen, and something needs to happen soon. In Texas, there's multiple areas that have 30 and 40 dogs in wild packs roaming because of what's going on. In our county, it's the same thing going on there. Kids can't even play in their yards. We've had rabies in the county. They're refusing to pick up dogs. They're hoarding dogs that are unadoptable, dogs that are sick. It's not okay. Y'all need to change stuff.
Michael Renew.
Michael Renew, 500 Airdrum Way. Since I was called out tonight, I would like to address that real quickly. Yes, I said I was not concerned about that puppy suffering. Why? Left out the second part. I don't believe our director allowed a puppy to suffer in the shelter. It's a very important part of what was not said. I have written a statement tonight, which I don't normally do, so now I'm going to read it. For the past 11 months, we have primarily received feedback from a few individuals expressing dissatisfaction with the shelter's operational methods and the director's performance. These individuals' concerns persist despite the shelter successfully passing, I believe, 3 state inspections and the director operating in accordance with the commissioner's directives. Their advocacy consistently centers on their personal vision for the shelter's management, demonstrating a significant disregard for the board, the director, and even the state regulators. They advocate for mandatory heartworm testing for all incoming dogs, a practice not typically adopted by most shelters. Those that do implement such testing often rely on external organizational support due to the prohibitive cost for most counties. Furthermore, they promote a high kill policy, which contradicts the stance of this board and the majority of Spalding County. Their continuous interventions appear to be an attempt to portray themselves as champions while casting the county in a negative light. It has been asserted online that Director harbored, and you heard it tonight, negative sentiments towards them. Despite a lack of sustaining evidence, even the year-long period of alleged mistreatment by these individuals is questionable whether the director should be accepted to collaborate with them at all. The actions in question have resulted in a loss of hundreds of hours for the director due to numerous accusations. The individuals involved appear to be indifferent to the personal and emotional distress inflicted upon the director and staff, seemingly hoping for her resignation. No individual should be subject to nearly a year of disparagement and judgment. At this juncture, it appears they're making unsubstantial claims in an attempt to find fault. I have 2 quotes tonight from individuals. They're not here, but they are supporters of this group. One person said, the directors make their blood boil. And the other one, and I'll pardon the language, she is a evil bitch. So, I tell you what, sounds personal to me, and so far nothing they've thrown out has stuck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Joe Skinner.
Joe Skinner, 222 Meriwether Street. Going to start from the top. My name is Joe Skinner, and I'm the Executive Director of NALO Spalding. We're an addiction recovery support center here in Griffin. I hadn't been here since we had our event back in September. I have to work my job that pays me money. But I just wanted to come and just say, from the bottom of my heart, just thank you all so much for partnering with us and for really, supporting a cause that obviously Griffin cares about. Spalding County citizens want to get better. Spalding County citizens want to know that they are, cared about. I believe that through our continued partnership, we'll continue to develop programs, support programs that are already in existence, and plug any holes to make sure that people know that recovery is real, recovery is the expectation, and there are resources here. I've got with me two staff members, Kai Brooks and Chris Ferguson. They work at our center now. I did not have staff when we started all this, and they are going to be very much in the community and are already serving peers and just allowing people's life to get better. Once again, I just want to thank you guys for showing up. I want to thank, I know when you put your name on something, I mean, if it goes bad, then, we all look bad. So we had no clue that, we expected about 70 folks. But let's just say the food trucks were stressed out. Yeah. We had over 300 people show up, and it was great. Thank you all for introducing us to the right people. Thank you all for being supportive when we were trying to, figure our way through it. We'll be a little better at it next time. And then also, your counterparts at the city were amazing. Please get to know these two folks, Chris, Kai, raise your hands. They are also, just awesome, amazing folks, just like you are, who care about the citizens of Spalding. And we're just going to keep, doing what we said we came to do, and which is support, any way we can for families and individuals affected by substance use disorder. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that's all
Joe.
who have signed up this evening.
Mr. Chair, our animal shelter has to go through Department of Agriculture inspections, right?
Yes, sir.
And those inspections make sure that the animals are being treated correctly and that the laws and stuff are being followed.
Yes, sir.
And we've had one of those a quarter, right? We've had 3 in this year so far, right?
Yes, sir.
And we passed all of them with flying colors.
We did. Yes, sir.
And they looked into whether animals were being left to starve or animals were not getting medical treatment.
They did. Yes, sir.
And the state inspectors 3 times said that wasn't happening, right?
That's the report says. Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you. Just making sure everything's good over there.
Item number 6, new business. At this time, I want to, do we need to amend the agenda? I think you've got that.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would like to have the agenda amended to add an item that our attorney will read.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. A resolution needs to be approved, allowing the county manager to execute any and all documents necessary for the closing of the purchase of property known as 115 North 6th Street, Griffin, Georgia.
That's your motion?
That is my motion to amend the agenda to add action item for a resolution to allow the county manager to execute documents for the purchase of 116 North 6th Street.
And where are we putting that? I'm sorry.
May we put it at the end of new business?
Number 7.
Yes.
Okay. New number 7. All right. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4. All opposed? 1. Motion carries. The agenda will be amended. All right. Item number 6, new business, appointment of Commissioner Ryan Bolden to fulfill the Chamber of Commerce expired term. It's my understanding that we have an immediate opening for the chair appointment to the Chamber of Commerce. It is my intent to appoint Commissioner Ryan Bolden to fill the unexpired term of this position. Is there any discussion?
I think it's your appointment, right?
Yes, it's my appointment. If not, I appoint Commissioner Bolden to fill the unexpired term and direct the county manager to make the notification.
Yes, sir.
All right. Item number 2, consider approval of the first reading of no through trucks ordinance. We have heard from the staff and the county attorney this afternoon. No through trucks ordinance. Is there any motion to approve the first reading of the no through trucks ordinance?
Mr. Chairman, with the amendment that we would add the weight as also a tool for measurement and to use the weight allowed by the prior Georgia law prior to the increase to 88,000 pounds.
Is that your motion, Commissioner Flowers Taylor?
My motion will be to approve on first reading the no through trucks ordinance with the amendment to add a weight component that will
As she said.
62,500 as the maximum amount of weight that can be on county roads.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Y'all probably talked about this at the workshop. Will that weight with this number of axles hurt our county roads?
No, sir. The previous weight was 73,000 and some change. This is below the previous weight. The 62,500 is the weight that we would carry in our dump trucks with dirt or gravel to manage our system, so that we're not in violation of our own ordinance. I feel like 62,500 pounds would be an acceptable weight for our roadways, and I do not believe that would damage the roads that we currently have in play.
Yeah, the second part that matters to me.
Correct.
If we needed to get new trucks, we need to get new trucks. But smashing our roads, doesn't matter who it is, even if we're doing it to ourselves. If that's the educated opinion on road strength, and I'm not the expert there, but if I'm relying on you, if that's the educated opinion, then we need to do what we need to do to protect our roads from whoever is driving on them and destroying them, because it's the taxpayers that have to pay to repair them and replace them, and it's millions of dollars per mile. So that's a high priority.
Yes, sir.
All right. All those in favor of approving the first reading of no through trucks, please raise your hand. 5-0. Motion carries for the first reading. We'll have the second reading at the next meeting. Item number 3, consider approval of vehicle purchase for Public Works. We heard from the staff this afternoon for consideration of vehicle purchase for Public Works to replace a totaled vehicle. Is there a motion to approve the purchase of the vehicle?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a vehicle for Public Works to replace a wrecked vehicle. And the reason that this item is coming to us because it exceeds the amount that management is allowed to approve. So the additional $4,000 will need to be approved by us. That's my motion.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Motion carries. Item number 4, Heritage Park Community Building bid approval. This afternoon, we heard from Dr. Ledbetter and the staff who discussed at length the 3 lowest bids for Heritage Park Community Building. Do I have a motion to accept Headley Construction for the bid?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve Headley Company. Is it Headley and Associates? As a contractor for the demolition and construction of the Heritage Park Gym. And I would also like to note that this particular bid comes in about $1 million less than what we anticipated. So if there are change orders, we should not have to spend anything over what we already budgeted.
All right.
And Headley, that's all inclusive. So if there is, materials increases, costs, that's on them. We're paying this. That's what they bid for, right?
There could be some change orders, but the way that it's bid is the $3.753 million is all inclusive. Yes, sir. And once you award the bid, we will go into contracting with them to make sure that we bring that back before we sign the contract.
Okay.
Did I make a motion?
Yeah.
Did we get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, because I wanted to also talk, because I talked with TJ about this a little bit. And just as with the Rosenwall, there are going to be unseen things that we just don't know that's there. We don't know what was on that bottom floor in the basement. We know that asbestos was throughout the building, and that was abated. But I would much rather look at a bid that have them to come back for a change order if there's something else to do, because we know that there is additional money that we allocated for that. I mean, I don't expect that should happen, but we had multiple change orders for Rosenwall. And, I think that there was a conversation with Headley to make sure that they understood that
They don't
there's
get in there
not
and
going
there's-
to
it's gonna
be
be crazy.
a lot of change orders.
We
You
did a
need to-
lot of work up front, to make sure that we understood what was in the ground, what was in the walls. There was no asbestos, there was no lead, so those are really good things for us, and that's what is actually creating
Driving this.
an opportunity for us to have a lower bid for this project.
And this is the last of the SPOS
20
This
projects.
This is the last project of the 2016 SPLOST projects. This will make us 100% complete on all projects presented to the voters.
Because the equalization school,
It's being
HUD is
redone
doing that.
by the housing authority.
Correct. And it's currently
they're already
in
under
work right
construction.
now.
hey, all right, okay.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Item number 5, Pine View Road Piedmont paving contract. This afternoon, Dr. Ledbetter and staff presented the Piedmont paving contract for Pine View Road. Do I have a motion to accept the bid for the work along Piedmont paving for staff to move forward with this contractor?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract for Pine View Road paving as listed in the award letter. That will go out, is there a bid?
Yes, ma'am, this is the bid for the project.
And that is
Piedmont Paving.
Piedmont Paving,
That is
excuse me,
correct.
Piedmont Paving. That's my motion.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I would like to share that, I did speak with TJ about this, and this bid, is actually going to come in much less, and I'm not really sure about the number, but they're not gonna have to do any blasting, which was a huge amount. They're not gonna have to remove the utilities, but they did have to incur a few costs because some people have moved out there and we didn't have the right of way, so we had to purchase those. But it looks just like with the Heritage that the money that we allocated for it should more than cover it.
This is gonna make a north-south avenue to be able to move in our county, which we don't have a whole lot of really and truly. Okay? Any more comments?
That was my question was, we have a protocol for paving dirt roads, which is everyone on the road has to sign off on giving us their right of way. Was that done here? Do we have a free right of way from every person on here?
We didn't have a free right of way from every person, and we were actually able to offset the cost for this road based on LMIG funds. So the state is supporting and helping us pave this road.
So, but it wasn't just because of cost. There's a lot of people who live on dirt roads and want to live on dirt roads and don't want their road paved. And so that was their way of signaling, I don't want my road paved. So here we are coming in and forcing someone who moved to a place with a dirt road and wants to be on a dirt road and is signaling to us, I want to live on a dirt road. And we're forcing them to live on a paved road now at the cost of other taxpayers. So
I don't
it
think
was
that that's correct.
it was our rule that, and I think it might have been used for a while.
Very, very small.
It might have been used for a while as like an excuse not to pave people's roads, because who can get their entire street to agree on anything? But at the same time, like I know of many people in the county who like living on their dirt road and don't want the increased traffic and don't want their road paved so that they don't get the increased traffic, that they don't. And if you live on a dirt road versus a paved road, your property value is going to go up, which means the amount of, total number of mills that you're going to pay is going to go up because your house is now more valuable. But people purposefully do that, and forcing that to change, I think, without changing the underlying rule, which was we're only paving roads if we have 100% participation. I think to even make an exception for that sort of breaks and sets a bad precedent. And certainly different than the precedent we've set for as long as I've been on the board. So if we don't have that, that's my only question. If everybody here, I think that's a good price. If everybody's on board with it and everybody has signed off on the right of way, then let's do it. But if everyone hasn't signed off on the right of way, it's a no for me. That was the agreement that we made with the citizens.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may, the individuals, according to Public Works, the individuals that we had to purchase a right-of-way from are individuals that moved out there in the last 2 years. They had no idea that anyone had ever come out and gotten all the right-of-ways from everybody that lived there. The county got the right-of-ways, permission for these right-of-ways more than 10 years ago. So those people have been expecting their road to be paved for 10 years. So I understand what Commissioner Dutton is saying. I think this is one of those times where our rule hasn't changed. It hasn't changed going forward, but this is an extenuating circumstance that was already in existence. We're just we're basically following our transportation plan, which says that we have to have road continuity from north to south. The only way that you can get north to south right now is down 19 or 41 or down North Hill Street. That's just unacceptable. We have thousands of people living in that area who have to make that move one way or the other. So, duly noted that is our policy. Our policy has not changed, but I feel like this is an extenuating circumstance, something that we've been working on for more than 10 years. And I think that with the additional reduction in costs, that this should be it certainly should make up for the difference of anything that we had to pay to get the right of way from those 3 families.
Okay, any other comments? All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4, all those opposed? 1, motion carries. Item number 6, I believe there's a need for discussion for the leases for the living quarters at Henlighter. Commissioner Flowers Taylor, I believe you've asked to conduct a meeting between the collaborative, the county staff, and it's my understanding that you would like to attend this meeting.
Yes, sir, and the Griffin Military Affairs Committee as well.
Would you please work with the county manager to schedule this meeting at the earliest convenience?
Yes, sir, I'll get with the county manager.
And I'd like for you, once the meeting, come back and give us a date, a drop dead date that we should be pushing towards.
I'll be happy to do that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, report from the county manager.
Actually, number 7, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The county manager has the resolution, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, that is my motion to approve a resolution. That needs to be
115
read.
North 6th Street.
Would you please read that, please?
Yes, sir, I'd be happy to read it. Resolution of the Spalding County Board of Commissioners to allow the county manager to execute any and all documents necessary for the closing of the purchase of property known as 115 North 6th Street, Griffin, Georgia, and for other purposes. Whereas the Spalding County Board of Commissioners, the county, entered into a contract dated August 12, 2025 for the purchase of property located at 115 North 6th Street, Griffin, Georgia, as more particularly described by Exhibit A attached to said contract. And whereas all special stipulations and conditions of the contract have been met and Spalding County desires to proceed with the closing to purchase the property. And whereas the Board of Commissioners desires to permit the county manager, Steve Ledbetter, to execute all necessary closing documents to consummate this purchase on behalf of Spalding County, a political subdivision of the state of Georgia. Now therefore be it resolved, and it is established, that the Spalding County Board of Commissioners authorizes Steve Ledbetter in his position as county manager for Spalding County, Georgia, and as Spalding County Clerk to execute all documents necessary to consummate the closing of the purchase of the property located at 115 North 6th Street, Griffin, Georgia, for $475,000 from Osario Property Group LLC. So resolved this 3rd day of November 2025. Signed, Clay Davis, Chairman. Attested, Steve Ledbetter, Spalding County Clerk.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Sorry, when this was added to the agenda, I thought it was another piece of property, and I thought it was going the other way. So, hence my vote earlier. So
Okay, now I understand. All right, thank you. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Now, item number 9, report of the county manager.
Mr. Chair, I just have 2 things to share with our community this evening. There's been discussion here of late with respect to why we notice a quorum for our Board of Commissioners. And if you'll bear with me just for a minute, why this matters. Government entities are required to issue notices of quorum to maintain transparency and comply with open meeting laws. When a quorum of elected officials, meaning enough members to conduct official business, gathers in one place, it could theoretically allow them to make decisions outside of properly noticed public meetings. By issuing these notices, local governments inform the public that while the majority of board members will be present at an event, they will not conduct any official business or make decisions that would normally require public input and formal procedures. These notices serve as a safeguard for democratic accountability, ensuring that important government decisions aren't made behind closed doors at informal gatherings. Whether commissioners are touring a construction project, attending a business luncheon, or participating in other community events, the public has a right to know when their elected officials are meeting as a group. The notice requirement helps maintain the integrity of the formal meeting processes while still allowing officials to engage with their community and fulfill their duties and stay informed about local projects and businesses. I just wanted to share that there have been a number of people who have contacted us asking us why we list out that there has been a quorum present at certain events across our community. And we do that to make sure that everyone in our community they know that you are going to be there. You are going to be a part of the event. And we notice it to make sure that our community is aware and they know that you're not there to make decisions on behalf of the county. So I'd encourage you to continue to be a part of our community and to continue to afford us the opportunity to share with our community about the events. We also use it as a little bit of an aside. It's a marketing opportunity for our community to know what events are being held across our community, and it's an invitation for them to come and participate. So I hope that answers some of the questions.
Thank you.
The next thing I would like to share is why our community should participate in Operation Greenlight for veterans. Operation Greenlight is a simple yet powerful way to show gratitude to the men and women who have served our country. By illuminating green lights in homes, businesses, and public spaces, we send a clear message. Our veterans are seen, appreciated, and supported. This initiative not only honors their service, but also raises awareness about the resources available to them. Let's come together as a community and shine a light, a green light of hope and respect for those who have sacrificed so much for our freedom. And as a veteran, I am thankful when I ride through our communities and I see the green lights shining. Our deputy county manager made sure that our construction director, Mr. Lance Griffin, was installing the green lights across our county buildings. So we're going to be proud displayers of green lights, and for that I am very thankful. The last thing that I would like to share with our board is that last Wednesday and Thursday you afforded me the opportunity to participate with ACCG and the county administrator from Coweta County. The three of us had the privilege of attending a tour of Loudon, Virginia, known as the Data Center Alley of the world, not just the United States, but the world. And with the plethora, and I do mean that, of information that we have brought back to share not only with our home counties, Spalding and Coweta County, but also with the other 157 counties across the state of Georgia. It is going to take me at least another week to put the information together to share with you, and it's my intent to be on the November 17th agenda for presentation just to showcase some of the information that we've learned. But please know that it is extensive, and I was very impressed with what I learned, with the presentation that was presented by the Board of Supervisors, their Board of Commissioners in Virginia. They're a Commonwealth, so they have Board of Supervisors equal to you as the Board of Commissioners. Their board there presented a lot of information that I believe would be relevant for our community as well as our state. So if you'll afford me a little bit of time, I'll be happy to share all of the learnings that I took away. With that, Mr. Chair, that's all of my update this evening.
Thank you. Deputy County Manager.
Yes, sir, I just have a couple of things. First of all, I just want to remind everybody to get out and vote tomorrow. If you are in the district that has the Public Service Commission, we all know that that is a huge thing, and make sure you vote for that. And, one more thing that I would like to mention is about our local food pantries. We are currently increasing a need for food donations at this present time in Spalding County. We have a few trusted organizations that we are working with directly. One being 5 Loaves and 2 Fish Food Pantry, which is located on 412 Slayton Avenue. And also the Rushton Hope, which is at 828 Everin Road. And we also are working with Manna from Above, which is at 110 North Expressway. You can view on our website and all of our social media outlets the times for donations and drop-off, and we appreciate everything you do. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Watts?
I want to encourage everybody to go out and vote tomorrow for Election Day. Exercise your right to go out, cast your vote if you didn't vote early. And I also want to say I was so proud Thursday to see the community come out, the kids come out dressed in their little uniform or whatnot, outfit. It was a great day for our community to see that. So thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Commissioner Bolden?
I sent an email out last week in reference to West Williamson and Bethany Road. I've gotten probably 4 or 5 different complaints out there. The roads are in pretty rough shape due to the dry conditions. They're got the washboard effect. And I know the rain probably made it a lot worse. Also on that side of town, getting a lot of complaints about rangers and 4-wheelers riding at night and doing some property damage, riding on Putnam Bridge and just doing stupid stuff. And I want to try to catch that before they ruin it for everybody. You know, 'cause that was a great privilege, and to be able to get your license and to be able to drive them on the roadway, and we don't want to mess that up with a bunch of idiots. And I got my word of the day is polythria, the name of a specific house. I'd never heard that word before. So,
Okay.
that's all we got.
All right. Commissioner Flowers Taylor?
So, first of all, I want to thank the Sheriff's Academy, Citizens Academy. You know, we always like to say, you know, education is so important, but people understanding law enforcement and the law enforcement system is huge. There was, I feel like, something that my husband had showed me the other night on Facebook where one of our law enforcement officers had stopped a young guy, completely showed his butt. I mean, if I had been the police, I would hit him myself. But I'm saying all that to say this. The more people that we have on the street that are educated on how they should act, the appropriateness of it. And I know these are, you know, adults. There a lot of them are my ages, but they talk to people and they understand how it works. So I think it's, you know, for each person that graduates, that's somebody else that helps somebody else understand. So, you know, kudos to them. They haven't stopped. And, you know, when people come in and say, I just didn't know that, but I get it now, that's huge to me. So thanks to them. I did attend the Archway meeting last week. I'm looking forward to our retreat in the fall. I think that there were some very important things that were said in the meeting. One of the most important things that I realized is that we don't give ourselves enough grace. We think that we're supposed to be mentally okay all the time, and we're not. And we are guilty of coming in the door sometime bringing our own baggage in here with us. And then we meet with the city and the school board, and they come into the room with their own baggage. And so sometimes you need to just clear things up. And so I hope that's what we'll be able to do again, so that we can continue to try to move our community forward. I was really confused by the Halloween events. I didn't understand why we had a thing going on downtown, like a festival, and then a little bit, then on 2 blocks or 3 blocks over, we had a thing going on in the cemetery. That just this Griffin. Yeah, we're not big enough for that. And when I'm saying, I'm looking at Steve, please let us have better coordination.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no sense in taking the resources of the sheriff's department and the police department and putting them in two different places when we could have a super great event, especially if we're having it on the same day. Yeah, that just completely blew me. Anyway, it was good. I went in and I saw everything, and I have to say that Halloween has turned into an adult
Yeah.
thing. You know, grown people is just doing a lot. I wanted to comment about what Ms. Drugas said about the signs at Tiemann Road. I have to challenge you on the fact that if there's 13,000 homes there, that everybody's gonna come up Tiemann Road. I don't understand why that would be. That's not the way that they're going now. Why would you, instead of going down 155, come over to Tiemann Road so you can just go down whatever? But anyway, all of that being said, I think that it is a good idea to have a lighted stop sign. If we think that there's any chance of us creating a deterrence, lights on the stop sign is the first step. I like to call a good idea when it is,
Yeah.
and that was one. Wanted to talk a little bit about the food shortages. Several people have come to me and asked what can they do. This is a giving community. We give from the bottom, but what I caution everyone about is that there is a system in place. We've had 5 tornadoes to come through here. We had the stuff from the hurricane to come through here. We had COVID that we had to do food distribution. There is no reason for us to recreate food distribution all over again. We just need to pull the book out and do what we're doing. But the other problem that we have, that I know we all have in this community, is that everybody wants to get credit for giving out their food and their clothing. It's not about us.
That's right.
It's not about us now. This is about our neighbors, whether you're a federal employee or you're the postman, if you're still on the federal check or whatever, who are not getting money to live off of. And so, as a person who considers myself employed, if I became unemployed, I would be a little hesitant about showing up to ask for food, even if I didn't have it. So in doing this, I think we're required to have dignity, and we need to allow people to still have dignity. And so I hope that we're able to pull together those different places that Erica listed. Our fire chief and EMA director, Glenn Polk, is kind of helping to help coordinate that. So if there are businesses that want to donate money, I'm sure that the collaborative is busy, but look for the organization to try to make your donation give the biggest amount of help that it can give. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wagon's already built. Let's just load it up with stuff. Also, I understood that there were some funds either donated or found that would help support the Backpack for Kids program. That is another organization that
It's a big deal.
gets federal funding. I don't have to tell anybody that a kid can't think if they're hungry when they go to school. So that is another way that people can give during this time, because there is a shortage there. Also, for the community in general, I don't know if people know that the Salvation Army shelter is no longer open. And so I think on a good day, they could house 27 people. So right now, we got 27 more people sleeping in alleys in our community. I don't know what the answer is, but we need to not stop talking about it, because it's another problem that we have on top of the issue with the food shortages. I think that that's everything that I got. I know that was a lot, but
I'm gonna go through a couple here. Just to back off Commissioner Flowers Taylor. That 5 loaves, 2 fishes, we really have a real strong resource with them. They really are great. I know my community is, my neighborhood is going out and collecting food, but they're not trying to distribute it. They're getting it and they're taking it 5 loaves, 2 fishes. That's the way to do that. And I'm not sure who first said the quote, but I like to share it. It's amazing what you can do if you don't care who gets credit.
Oh.
All right,
Amen.
go anonymously donate and give it away. You know, there's tales in the Bible of people proudly giving that donation, and Jesus specifically calling them out. So, you know, be the widow with her mite. To go off of the trick or treating downtown, my kids liked it. We were able to go downtown, trick or treat at 4, and then go to flag football practice. And then come back and trick or treat a second time in the cemetery. So we got to trick or treat and then trick or treat and then trick or treat the next day. But yeah, no, I agree. You know, if we can make one big splash instead of 2 little ones, yeah. You also, Gwen, you talked about asserting your rights and how to, you know, interact with police officers. Specifically, I had some interactions with police officers this last weekend. And I want to give an awesome shout out to our deputies. We have phenomenal sheriff's deputies. We have an awesome sheriff, and it's from the top down. Our sheriff leads from the top, and I just remember when COVID first broke in here, and everyone was, you know, panicking, and well, we got to put in a curfew. We got to shut half the doors down. And I'm in here going, wait a minute, we don't have the authority to put in a curfew, y'all. We can't do that. And Sheriff Dix took the microphone and said, I don't care what you pass. I don't think that's constitutional, and I'm not going to enforce it. And that's the level that I expect from him and from our deputies. And so far, they've never let me down. Fantastic. I was asked to go last week to teach a class at Georgia Military Academy and Gordon on 2 different days, and to teach about how to assert your rights, civil liberties, you know, politely, you know, I don't consent. I don't, you know, like, no, I'm not going to answer your questions. But at the same time, you know, be respectful and then do whatever the guy with the gun's telling you to do. Like, you know, like get out of the car and politely assert your right and then quietly put your hands behind your back if you're asked to. So, you know, you don't fight on the side of the street. You fight in a courtroom later. You know what I mean? The most important lesson I learned in law school was always assert all your rights all the time. But I'm also Southern, so do it politely. So,
Cool.
Now getting into some other stuff. Tomorrow is election day. Oh, it's just some silly little poll. Go and vote. Go and vote. Millions of people, I'm not exaggerating, have died for your right to vote. And you're spitting in their face if you don't exercise that right. Go and vote. Go and vote. Oh, it's just as simply go and vote. I want to kind of ask some questions here, Dr. Ledbetter, about the data center ordinance. I know that we've put in special conditions with the 2 data centers that have come that have really wrapped up exactly what we wanted them to do, but we also have sort of a base rules for data centers. Those rules aren't quite as tight as what we've put in the special conditions, and I'd like to make them as tight. I thought they were as tight, and we've seen what was written down, and I think we're still fine because we put them in the special conditions as to what the data centers, these 2 that have come, but we want to make sure before they're built, before they've broken ground, before, you know, that they understand both in the special conditions and here's what our expectation is. I don't think they're unreasonable. I think the data centers will still come, but it is our duty to protect the citizens of Spalding County from the harm that data centers have done in other communities. And it's not on purpose. They're not malicious. They just weren't told they had to do X, Y, Z, so they didn't. Here we've said, whoa, this is an issue. We're going to put these rules in so you can't do that. And we really want to just, you know, double and triple and quadruple down on, no, seriously, you have to do this. So I think that needs to be written down. We updated our impact fees in the fall of 23, or was that last year?
No, the impact fees were updated at the same time that we did our comp plan, so that was 2022.
Okay.
And we are up for our next comp plan review. We will begin the process next year during the fiscal 27 year, so that we will complete by October of 2027. We had the conversation with Paige Hatley just this past week about doing an update for our CIE.
Okay. I just want to again talk to my fellow commissioners. I think we should raise our impact fees to the max the state will allow us. This is the way we have incredible parks, incredible leisure activities, incredible, things that the people who have lived here and grown up here and pay taxes here have funded. And it's not fair if folks move in and get to enjoy all that and haven't paid into it. That's what impact fees do, is make up for these people who haven't paid in. Are there negative sides to that? Will it slow down growth? Yeah, maybe a bit, but I think it's something that we've got to do to respect what the taxpayers have already paid into. There is a decel lane going in on High Falls Road. They're going to connect through that the new industrial park there to Barnesville Road. There was a nice wall of trees there that hid the industrial park, but because they had to put that decel lane in, they've cut down those trees. That developer has been fantastic about going above and beyond to make sure that sightlines are maintained. Can we ask him to put another line of trees right there? I know that we've cut them down because he had to, because we required a decel lane, even though it's northbound, and I don't know how many people are going to be decelling there, but okay. But because of that layer of trees is gone. If we could get another layer of trees, I don't think he'll be too chuffed if
we will
ask him
work
to.
with that developer. Yes, sir.
He's been really great so far on.
Yes.
Hey, can we also get? I know you don't have to, but can you? And he's gone. Sure. So I've had some folks call, and I think that's a requirement. I don't know, but let's double check and make sure that, because again, you're driving through the woods and all of a sudden there's a 2 million square foot warehouse, but that could be mitigated with just a couple trees right there. So.
Good catch.
The last thing is I want to give a congratulations to the city of Griffin for putting in what I believe is the first official golf cart parking spaces downtown. And as a golf cart driver, we appreciate that right here on 6th Street in front of Piedmont Brewery. So I got to brag to my sister-in-law, who's a city commissioner in Peachtree City, that they're not the only ones with golf cart parking anymore. That we're moving up in the world as well. So, I think it makes a big difference. It's going to help with our traffic conditions and, of course, just the green energy in general. It's much greener to drive my little electric golf cart over here than to, get in a 4Runner and load the family up. Plus my kids like it. So that's all I got.
You come out to Sun City and see a lot of parking.
Yeah. See, we need a lane down North Hill, right? And interconnect.
Thank you. First, vote. You've listened to James talk about it. 3 or 4 of us have mentioned it. Please go vote tomorrow. I don't care which side you vote on, but go vote. This is a right that not everybody has in our world. And if you've ever talked to the people who don't have that right, they would give just about anything to have the right to just go spend a few minutes to vote. Secondly, please join us with a green light bulb. Doesn't take much. Go out and put it on wherever you have an outside light. Doesn't have to be some big spotlight like Dr. Ledbetter's having put up in certain places, but a green light bulb so that the veterans of our community understand and see the support we have for them. I want to thank the sheriff also for the academy. I got to make some of those classes, and I think that it is really and truly great. And I appreciate what you're doing, not only for them, but for the young folks as well, trying to educate the people who are coming up so that it's easier to be able to do that. And I know that there's people who having the first opportunity to fire a pistol is pretty awesome. And a couple of shots and okay, I've done enough of that. I'm going to go sit down here. So I appreciate that. Yes. On the archway thing, so that the commissioners know, We're working hard to do a workforce development seminar in April. The time frame is. Plan on having an opportunity to come out and see. It will be really great on what we're trying to do with our community and getting ready to have workforce development through education, through re-education, through opportunities with partners to come in and have a say in what we're trying to teach and things like that. Last item for July, August, and September, we had a pretty bad situation with suicides in our county. We doubled them for the first 6 months, and we took some pretty large steps. We went to leaders and asked leaders to talk to their folks about it. We had seminars, we had club meetings to be able to do it. We created an ad hoc committee to be able to do it. It's good to be able to show that with that leadership getting involved, that over the last month or so, there has been a serious drop-off in suicides. When we talk about things that are important, our citizens killing themselves gets right up on the high priority list. So let's talk about those kinds of things. If you haven't had an opportunity to talk to your family, co-workers, and things like that to mention the words, if you don't know what else to do, 988 is a phone number to contact. You get them talking on 988, and the 988 people will take care of doing that. If you haven't heard from somebody in a while, please take the opportunity to call them. It just is easy just to make a phone call, and sometimes when people are getting towards the end of their decision-making phone call and letting them know that you care about them will bring them around to a different situation. So that's absolutely a great thing that our county came together and all worked on, and it is much better now. With that said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All discussion. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 5-0, we're adjourned. Thank you.